since tapos na tayo sa check register, let us move on to the next one, which is the voucher register. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, I have given you the signal already, or the note, ano tawag dito? Oh, the note na sabi ko, medyo magiging mahirap itong voucher register na intindihin if and only if hindi kayo guided na sagutan ito. Kumbaga, if you started from scratch sa pagsasagot nito, talagang mahihirapan kayo like what we did last year. Okay? Pero since we are having this Kashato sessions, mas maganda na nagkakaroon tayo ng ganitong discussion para hindi kayo naliligaw sa kung anong dapat ninyong gawin. Okay? So for our voucher register, we have to go back to the chronology of transactions, and we have to identify all the transactions with recorded voucher number XX. Okay? So, pag may nakita kayong transaction na nakalagay ay recorded voucher number blah blah, or kaya kahit recorded voucher lang, ibig sabihin, that transaction should be recorded in voucher register. Okay? And yan lang yung pinaka-point na maibibigay kong tip sa inyo on how to identify the transaction needed to record in this voucher register. Kasi yan lang yung working talaga. Napakarami kasi na pwedeng i-record dito sa voucher register, and mas may papakita ako sa inyo, sila sa inyo through the examples that I will be giving to you. Okay? So, yung examples naman na yun na rin yung answer or some of the answers sa voucher register dito sa ating practice set. Okay? So, here is the table for voucher register. So, medyo mahaba siya at saka madami talaga. Like what we did in our cash receipts journal na mahaba din yun. Pero mas mahaba ito kasi nga dalawang page siya sa ating practice set. So, we have columns here for voucher. So, dapat, as what we have mentioned sa definition ng voucher register kanina, dapat in numerical sequence yung ating mga entries dito. So, we are basing that numerical sequence sa voucher number and sa date ng mga transactions. Most specifically, sa voucher number, kasi dyan talaga dapat sunod-sunod yung mga entries. Okay? Then, we have column for payee, then the terms, kung ano yung given na terms dun sa mga transactions na yon. So, you have to put it there. Then, we have the column for date. So, date paid, kailan ba binayaran yung voucher na to? At date ng check number, the check number kung kailan binayaran yung voucher, ilalagay nyo rin dito. Okay? So, etong part na to, etong column na to, hindi nyo pa siya malalagyan agad-agad if hindi pa kayo tapos dun sa check register. Kaya natin yun inuna. Kasi para mas madali na lang din sa inyo na gawin siya agad, rather than unahin tong voucher register kasi madami nga yung entries dito. So, pwede nyo na naman siyang i-fill upan, if possible, kung ang pinagbabasehan nyo ay yung mga transactions. Okay? Yung nasa chronology of transactions. Kung makikita nyo na agad na nag-issue ng cheque in payment of this voucher, pwede nyo nang i-record dito. Okay? Kung kailan binayaran, at saka kung ano yung check number na ginamit. Pero, my tip is to finish the check register first para mas madali na lang sa inyong mag-transfer, okay, ng entries. Then, dito, makikita nyo din na we have columns for debit and credit dito sa part na to, and dito din sa other accounts na column. So, bakit may magkahiwalay na debit credit dito sa ating voucher register? Dito kasi sa una, itong credit debit na nandito, yung credit natin dito ay specifically for the voucher payable. Okay, for the voucher payable column. And for the debit naman, specifically for the account title lang na purchases and input tax. Okay, may specific na column for these specific accounts. So, pagdating dito sa other accounts column, dito kasi nilalagay yung mga transactions na hindi related sa purchases. Yun. Hindi related siya sa purchases, kaya nilalagay siya dito sa other accounts column. Okay, like for example, bumili ka ng furniture. 'Di ba? Ang voucher register ay galing daw sa purchase journal kasi alternative na lang to nung purchase journal because of our voucher system. So dahil doon, yung example natin na pagbili ng furniture, hindi naman natin pwedeng ilagay yung amount nung furniture na yun dito sa purchases kasi hindi naman siya yung ginagamit natin na account title in recording that purchase of furniture. We have the furniture and fixture naman. So, dito natin siya nilalagay. So, lalagay natin furniture and fixture. Then, kung debit ba siya or kung credit. So, ganun siya tumatakbo dito. Yan. So, again, for voucher register, same goes with sales journal. Kapag input tax, laging kaakibat ay purchases. Okay, wag din yan kakalimutan. So, for our formula, we just have to get the purchases without the VAT na ilalagay natin dito sa ating voucher register. So, ang gagawin natin, yung amount ng purchases, i-divide natin by 1.12 for us to get the purchases without VAT. Then, for the input tax naman, we have to deduct the purchase discount without VAT or purchases without VAT sa ating purchases. Okay? So, sabi din dito, VAT should be applied to other expenses. Yan. So, makikita natin kung ano pa yung mga expenses na yon na kinokomputan natin ng VAT. Pero most specifically, other expenses. Lahat ng expenses talagang kinokomputan ng VAT or ng input tax. Yan. So, let's dive with this example. So, ito yung pinakauna din na entry for voucher register. So, for October 2, recorded voucher number 205. So, nakikita nyo naman, we have this term. For merchandise purchased on accounts from Blanche Manufacturing Company, 179,200. So, for this one, our journal entry for this is debit purchase and credit accounts payable 179,200. Since we are dealing with transaction na may purchase na journal entry, we have to compute for the input tax. Okay? So, purchase without VAT muna, that's 179,200 divided by 1.12 to get 160,000. Then, the input tax ay 179,200 minus 160,000 is equals to 19,200. Then, we transfer this to our voucher register. So, ito yung magiging entry natin. So, for voucher number 205, date October 2, payee is Blanche Manufacturing, terms ay 215 and 60. So, kung hindi siya given dun sa transaction, probably given siya dun sa source document na kalakip nito na makikita nyo dun sa ating source documents file sa ating practice set. So, nabanggit ko na rin yun sa previous videos natin. Then, for the credit, we have 179,200 under the voucher payable column. Then, sa debit natin, yung kinompute natin na 160,000 na purchases and 19,200 na input tax. So, yan lang yung record for that specific transaction. Okay? And yung um, accounts payable na record natin for that transaction sa ating journal entry, under na siya ng voucher payable kasi um, yung transaction na yun ay nirecord natin sa voucher. And lahat ng nire-record natin na transaction sa voucher ay nagiging voucher payable. Okay, regardless of the account na ginamit sa journal entry, lahat ng yon ay magiging voucher payable because they are recorded in voucher. Okay, take note of that. So that is the first one na example ng mga transactions na ma-encounter nyo at kailangan nyong i-transfer dito sa voucher register. We have 4 kasi na type of transaction na need i-record dito sa voucher register natin. 4 din yung transactions na prepare ko for this one. So that is the first one. So the second one, for October 2, recorded voucher number 206 for freight on today's shipment from Blanche Manufacturing Company, 1,120. Issue check number or issue check to TRIA forwarders in payment for this voucher. So our journal entry for this one, we debit transportation in and credit cash na 1,120. So because we recorded this transaction to our voucher, we recorded voucher number 206. Etong transaction na to, we have to compute for the input tax necessary to compute for this specific transaction. So, ang gagawin natin, we have to get the trans-in without VAT. So, that is 1,120 divided by 1.12. So, ang sagot ay 1,000. Then, we get the input tax. That's 1,120 minus 1,000 is equals to 120 pesos. So, ganyan yung gagawin natin. Hindi lang dito sa trans-in but also to the other expenses. Trans-in kasi is also an expense account, pero more on the purchase or the cost side siya kasi pagdating sa income statement, siya ay sinasama sa cost of goods sold. Pero transportation in has the same nature with expenses. Excuse me. So if maka-encounter kayo ng transaction na may expense na debit, so same lang din yan. Kailangan mo lang din kunin yung expense without VAT, then get the input tax. Okay? So kapag transfer natin, this is the entry. So voucher number 206, date October 2, payee is TRIA forwarders, then wala namang binigay na term kasi nabayaran naman siya agad. Then credit voucher payable 1,120. Then input tax ay 120. Then makikita nyo dito sa ating other accounts, we have account title na transportation in, and the PR, yung PR is account number, tatandaan nyo yan, PR is account number. Then the debit is 1,000 pesos. Okay? So wala tayong entry for purchases na column kasi hindi naman applicable yung transportation in sa purchases kasi magkaiba silang account title, 'di ba? So, dahil wala namang specific na column itong si transportation in, so ilalagay na lang natin siya dito sa other accounts na column natin. Okay, so yan din yung gagawin nyo with other expenses. So that is the second example or the second type of transaction na nire-record natin dito sa voucher register. So next, so for the third type of transaction, we have October 5, returned defective merchandise to Blanche Manufacturing Company and received a 11,200 credit memo or credit memorandum. So, sa special instruction natin, makikita nyo doon na merong cancellation or kailangan i-cancel yung naunang voucher related to this transaction. So, our journal entry for this one, we debited accounts payable and credited purchase return and allowances. So, once we are having this purchase return and allowances na journal entry, automatic na yan na ang gagawin natin ay magka-cancel tayo ng voucher, yung naunang voucher. Bakit natin ito ginagawa? Bakit natin siya kailangan i-cancel? Kasi yung naunang voucher ay mas mataas yung amount na o yung value na nakalagay doon. But because we returned purchase or we returned merchandise na pinurchase natin, yung accounts payable natin ay mababawasan dapat. So meaning to say, yung voucher yung naunang voucher from our past transaction ay mababawasan yung value, which is kailangan nating i-cancel yung naunang voucher nga at gumawa ng bagong voucher na may bagong value na. Okay? Or mas mababa na yung value. So, by that, we have to compute for the input tax nung purchase return and allowances na yon. So, purchase return and allowances without VAT, so 11,200 divided by 1.12, that's 10,000. Then sa input tax, 11,200 divided by, minus 10,000, 1,200. Okay, and we are going to transfer this to our voucher register. So, pagdating sa voucher register, ito yung makikita ninyo. So, inano ko na siya. Nilagyan ko na ng squares dyan. So, una, ang related kasi na transaction sa October 5 na transaction na yon ay yung nauna nating transaction na diniscuss, which is the transaction from October 2. Kasi same sila ng payee, si Blanche Manufacturing. So, dahil kailangan natin i-cancel yung naunang voucher, lalagyan natin siya ng cancel dito sa paid na column. Tapos, sa check number naman, kailangan din nating ilagay kung ano yung bagong voucher na ire-record, okay, or nagagawin para in exchange for this transaction or for this voucher. Okay, para pagdating doon, pag tinignan kung sino man na user or na kailangan mamahalan nitong voucher register, makikita niya na na-cancel na pala tong unang voucher na to. So, ano yung titignan ko? Ano yung bagong voucher na related dito? So, that is voucher number 209, which is nandito sa ating column for voucher. So, 209. So, ito na yung bagong voucher. Bago na din yung voucher payable na amount. Tapos, dito sa other accounts natin, makikita nyo na we have account title na voucher payable. So, bakit tayo may voucher payable dito? Because we are recognizing our voucher payable from the previous voucher na 179,200. Diba when we say voucher payable, this is a liability account at some point or in its nature kasi payable nga siya, 'di ba? And the normal balance of payables are or is credit, 'di ba? And ilagay natin dito yung amount niya sa debit column because we are recognizing it. So, masi-zero out yung voucher na yon, yung voucher payable na yon. Pero, hindi naman siya masi-zero talaga in the end kasi nga, naglagay tayo ng amount dito na 168,000 which is credit, nasa credit column. Okay? Sana nag-make sense yung idea nitong column na to. Okay? Then dito pa, we have account title na purchase return and allowances. So, ang normal balance naman niya, 'di ba, ay credit side and input tax na credit din. So, kung ano yung normal balance nitong purchase return, same lang din dapat dun sa input tax. Okay? Kasi, kumbaga parang sinasabi natin na magkakambal kasi sila, kaya hindi sila pwedeng paghiwalayin. So, by that, yung na-compute natin na amount ng purchase return and allowances without VAT ay nandito na din. That's 10,000. And yung na-compute natin na input tax na 1,200. So, meron pa yan. May, I think, isa pang transaction um, in connection with purchase return. So, ganito lang yung gagawin. Same lang din yung gagawin na approach for this one. Yan. Okay. For the last type of transaction na in-record natin dito sa voucher register, that's October 15. So, recorded voucher number 211 for the semi-monthly payroll in the amount of 104,956.935. So, issue check number 081199 in payment of this voucher. So, again, may makikita tayong term na recorded voucher. Okay? So, this is applicable for voucher register na recording. So, our journal entry for this one ay debit salaries expense and credit cash. So, yan naman yung amount. And since this is a transaction we recorded in voucher, we have to get or hindi na pala because hindi na natin kailangan kunin yung or mag-compute ng input tax because no VAT to be computed because salaries are subject to withholding taxes and other government-mandated deductions. Double taxation is not allowed. So, pagdating kasi sa usaping taxation, if ever na may applicable na tax for a specific transaction or for a specific agenda, something ganun, hindi na pwedeng magdagdag pa ulit or magpatong pa ulit ng another tax. Okay? Kasi yung tax na nauna ay bayad mo na yun sa government. Kumbaga. And with this one, since ang salaries dito sa ating practice set ay may kaakibat na withholding taxes na kailangan bayaran as well as the other government mandated deductions na nire-remit din naman natin sa ating government. So, sobra-sobra na yun yung babayaran ni Kashato, 'di ba? If maglalagay pa tayo ng VAT or magko-compute pa tayo ng input tax. So, hindi na siya kailangan computean ng VAT. Yan. So, kapag translate natin yan dito sa ating voucher register, so makikita natin our voucher number 211, then date ay 15, October 15, then sa payee, nakalagay na lang ay payroll kasi tayo lang din naman yan. Then terms ay N30, then voucher payable ay 104,956.935 kung ano yung kabuuang expenses natin or salaries expense. Then pagdating dito sa other accounts, makikita nyo na ang daming mga entries dito. So, nauna na dyan ay yung salaries expense. So, we have salaries expense dito na 116,500 and SSS payable, PhilHealth payable, Pag-ibig payable, and withholding tax payable. So, saan to nakuha? Ano yung basis kung bakit ginawan ng ganito yung salaries expense na transaction? So, this is in relation to the payroll register na makikita nyo sa page, anong page nga ba yun? Sa page 37, if you are going to open your practice set, page 37, payroll register, makikita nyo dyan, since ito ay transaction from October 15, that is a payroll for October 1 to 15, so, makikita nyo dun sa payroll register yung mga totals. So, yung total or yung gross pay ay nandito sa salaries expense natin na naka-debit na 116,500. Okay? Tapos, kapag bangga mo yan, yung 116,500, dito sa SSS payable, PhilHealth payable, and Pag-ibig payable, and withholding tax payable, mag-equate yan, I think, dito sa 104,956.935. Yan. So, dito, kasunod ng salaries expense na yan, we have the SSS payable. So, kung titignan mo din yung table ng payroll register, yung total ng SSS doon ay 2,530 ay 2,543.20. Then sa PhilHealth, 1,464.375. Then sa pag-ibig payable for 50 pesos. Then sa withholding tax payable, 7,085.43. Or no. 7,085.49. So yung withholding tax payable ay doon sa column ng withholding tax sa payroll register kukunin. Okay? So, lahat ng to ay payable. So, bakit sila payable? Kasi, by that time, for that October 15, since we are recording salaries expense, 'di ba, automatic na naman 'yan na pagdating ng salary may deductions na agad. So yung mga deductions na 'yun naman hindi naman agad na re-remit sa respective government agencies or private agencies like sa SSS, sa PhilHealth, saka sa Pag-ibig. Hindi naman sila agad na re-remit by October 15, which is the payroll. So, lahat ng yon ng deductions ay payable muna. Okay? Recorded muna sila as payable. So, yun yung logic on how to deal with salaries, a transaction related to salaries. Okay? Ganito yung magiging content ng voucher register for this specific transaction. And that's how you deal with the 4 types of transactions na ilalagay nyo dito sa inyong voucher register. And also take note, pagdating dito sa ating mga record, hindi sila or may mga lapses in between ng voucher number nila. So, we have dito sa nauna, voucher number 205, tapos voucher number 206, tapos ang sumunod na agad ay voucher number 209. So, probably, meron pang transaction in between netong dalawa. So, you have to draft or look for the voucher number 207 and 208 and kung ano yung respective na entries nila for this voucher register. Before mo isunod itong voucher number 209 na entry. Okay? Tapos sa 209, 211 na agad yung sumunod natin dito. So probably meron pang 210 na voucher number. So you have to take note of that. And also, after naman ng 211, may mga susunod pa na voucher na hindi lang natin nailagay dito. Okay? So, I will give it to you para sagutan kung ano pa yung mga entries related to this voucher register. Then, in the future, tignan natin kung I can provide the answers for the voucher register so you can confirm if tama yung mga sagot mo. Okay? Pero, let's take this as a challenge. Kung natutunan talaga natin yung paggamit itong voucher register. So, you should try. Okay? I-try lang. So, yan lang naman yung ating voucher register. So, before we end this, or before we close this topic for special journals, isama ko na rin dito yung topic for general journal. So, for the special journals and voucher system on our page 3 and 4, meron tayo dyang definition for general journal sa ating practice set. So, sabi dito, it is used when a transaction cannot be recorded appropriately in any other special journal. So, kaya ko siya hinuli at sinama na rin dito sa special journal because it is important for us to recognize this general journal kasi dito napupunta yung mga transactions na hindi natin na i-record dun sa mga special journals na pinag-usapan natin. Okay? And nagbigay na nga na examples dito including the merchandise returns, write-offs of uncollectible accounts, certain non-cash transactions involving notes receivable and notes payable. Okay? So, dito natin siya ilalagay. Yan. So, in addition, adjusting, closing, and reversing entries are recorded in this journal. So, wag din kakalimutan na dito natin nilalagay yung mga adjustments natin, yung mga closing entries, tsaka yung mga reversing entries. And may dagdag ako na tip for you in dealing with general journal. Merong isang transaction na i-record dito sa general journal natin or iiwan dito sa general journal na yung transaction with sales returns and allowances, yung transaction na yon na may sales return and allowances na journal entry, kailangan nyo siyang computan ng VAT or ng output tax. Kasi nga, 'di ba, yung purchase discount nga natin, 'di ba, kinomputan natin siya ng input tax. So, of course, dapat yung sales return din natin. Ay, tama ba yung pinagsasabi ko? Wait lang. Yung purchase return pala na um, na kinompute natin kanina with our voucher register, di ba kinomputan din natin yun ng input tax. So, etong sales returns and allowances, dapat computan din ng output tax kasi it is related to ano naman to the sales itself. So, mas magiging malalim pa yung understanding nyo regarding this one kapag nandun na kayo sa subject na related to value-added taxes. Okay? So, that is a tip lang naman para tuloy-tuloy na kayo sa paggawa ng general journal. And yan lang yung nag-iisang transaction na may output tax sa general journal. Okay? So, tip na yan. So that's the end of this tutorial. So sana marami ka natutunan regarding voucher register, check register, and general journal. And if you learned something from this tutorial, please like this video, comment if you have any question, and subscribe to this channel para updated kayo sa mga susunod pa nating videos. So, this is CK, and this is our Kashato Sessions, a guide to answer an accounting practice set. So, thank you sa panonood ng ating video.